Alright guys, welcome back. We are doing another monster build, a Marshmallow Monster Hot Tub. So I'm sitting there thinking, hey, how do I do this? Well, let's go ahead and start with a cheap little coffee cup, teacup, plastic, and some washers because, it's kind of light. And, who else doesn't use washers the size of these? Let's go ahead and get some other material, and of course you can't do anything else without clay. So stick around, let's go ahead and get this done. Alright guys, so look, I got these washers off of Temu. They're huge, so what else are you going to use huge washers for? I use them as weights because we want to weigh down this teacup as much as possible. It's like a little plastic tea or coffee cup. Very, very thin, very light. So I want to make sure this has a little bit of heft to it. So we'll go ahead and glue this down. All right, as you see, we have our sketch here for reference. Going to go ahead and mark this out a little bit. So I don't want to fill this whole thing up with material. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut out just a piece of cardboard, enough that it'll kind of set in there and it'll allow me a good place to start sculpting from without having to just waste a bunch of material, as you'll see. So this air dry clay is cheap air dry clay from Hobby Lobby. I think it was $5 for a whole brick of it. Not the greatest air dry clay. It's not the worst. It's a budget friendly air dry clay, so it needs a lot of kneading on there. But I go ahead and fill this in to make it easier for us to go ahead and sculpt our little marshmallow guy in here, as well as the top of the cocoa. We want marshmallow and whipped cream in there to have him sit back and relax. Now we're going to go ahead and sculpt his head. As you'll see, I'll do a lot of smoothing on this. Now, I personally am not using water. I'm using isopropyl alcohol, just rubbing alcohol to get it smoothed out. Now, I'm not wanting them necessarily as smooth as other sculpts, because with this, he is marshmallow, so he's going to be a little lumpy. And popping in his eyes, now these are actually just thumbtacks. Thumbtacks you use on your cork boards, but they make perfect eyes. We'll go ahead and get everything sculpted and blended in, and then we're going to go ahead and add his eyebrows right here, or I guess his eyelids, and then we'll make sure that everything is smoothed in, so we're not having anything just out of place. And then we'll go ahead and start with the rest of his body. Something I've noticed with working with this air dry clay is, it does take a little bit of kneading to get it, really workable, but also it does, dry out fairly quickly, which is not necessarily a bad thing. That's why I keep rubbing it down with rubbing alcohol just to kind of keep it moist so I can still work with it. But now we're just adding the body parts of this guy so he can just chill and lay back. We just added his arms and now his feet, and now we're going to add the little ridges for the whipped cream swirl on top, because what's a good cup of hot cocoa without marshmallow and maybe some whipped cream, and just basically making a round shape, kind of almost like a cinnamon bun, how it's round, but making sure we get everything in there, rubbed down, kind of smoothed out, because now this is the part that's really melting in. So we make sure we get it nice and smooth. So now we're going to begin the painting process. So just getting some brown wash in there. I just want it to get all in the nooks and cranny of this. So you'll notice as for painting, we just want to get in all the dark areas first, and then we'll work lighter. So the way I work in layers, darks down first, and then we lighten it up as we move towards the top. In this case, just making sure we go ahead and get him painted. Now you're probably thinking he's already white. Why are you painting him white? It's actually like a kind of like a gray color, so it's not necessarily a white like marshmallow necessarily. But we're just going to go ahead and now put all the dark brown in the grooves, so that way we get all that taken care of and darkened in there. And now we're going to start with the light spots. So this is your marshmallow or whipped cream that's melting around. Go ahead and hit all the high areas and kind of bring some depth to it. All right, so now we're going to add some UV resin, because I wanted this to look like, it's actually like, moist liquid. So we're going to add some UV resins in the nooks right here to make sure that we convey that, this is liquid. So we want it nice and shiny, and it's sitting there. It's hot. We're going to leave the tops though. We're going to leave those matte because they haven't quite melted together. And so that's basically everything. Hope everyone enjoyed this build. It was a nice, quick, fun little build for a Friday. So now enjoy the glamour shots.